So, along the Silk Road, we look at Bamiyan Valley in Afghanistan, which is the site of these two colossal Buddhas. You can see one right there in the cliff. There's a great video you guys should definitely check out about the history of this. I'll do a pretty short explanation of this now. This was a site for pilgrimages to go up into the smaller of the two colossal Buddha statues. And up at the top of the head, there was a spot where they could circumambulate. There's a painted sun in the back of the niche. Um, and this is something that eventually gets destroyed. So you can see this big gaping hole in the wall where it used to be. The reason it was destroyed was there was a Taliban commander, Abdul Wahid, who announced his intention to blow up the Buddhas back in 1997 before he took control of the valley. Once he was in control of the Bamiyan Valley, he drills holes into the Buddha's heads to stick explosives in. But he was prevented from finishing this plan because of a direct order from Mullah Omar, who set up a decree in favor of preserving these Buddhas because he recognized that even though Afghans were no longer Buddhist, these statues could provide a potential source of income from international visitors. But radical clerics began a campaign to crack down on anything that was un-Islamic in their society. So they banned all forms of imagery. This was in accordance with their strict interpretation of Sharia. 400 clerics from across Afghanistan declared these statues to be against the tenets of Islam. One of those major tenets was that Islam was an aniconic religion. So there were not supposed to be idols. There weren't supposed to be icons. And we'll go over more of that in the module on Islamic art. So there was an organization of an Islamic conference, which included Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. And these three Islamic nations recognized the Taliban government, joined this protest against destroying the statues. But India and Japan even offered to transfer them to their own countries in order to help kind of recover these. But these overtures were totally rejected by the Taliban. And these statues were finally destroyed on March 2nd in 2001 by artillery fire, guns, and dynamite over a period of several weeks. Some reported that the statues were destroyed in retaliation for economic sanctions that were imposed upon Afghanistan once the Taliban took control. After years of impoverishment from Russian rule, the new government asked for this monetary support, and it was denied due to this reactionary tenet of this new regime. So the Taliban was angered, and then when offers of money finally came in support of these statues, as opposed to requests for support from the Afghan people in the initial months after the expulsion of the Russians. The Afghan foreign minister stated that the destruction was anything but retaliation against the international community for these sanctions, and instead he said, "We are destroying these statues in accordance with Islamic law, and it is purely a religious issue." So, the question I want you guys to think about is, should these be reconstructed? Yes, no, why not? Or why? That concludes our chapter on Buddhist art. Obviously, there's a ton of things that happen between 1200 years CE and today. So I encourage you to keep studying.